Hello everybody, my name is Akata and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video, and today I'm going to be making another top 5 video, but essentially it's going to be top 5 worst cards in Genius Invocation TCG. And I know this video is going to get kind of late, at least when I initially said that it was going to be coming out, but the new essentially 3.7 event coming out, and also we have the new like TCG event Duel, the Summon, which that's definitely just went off my phone. I feel like it's no time that better essentially to talk about essentially the worst cards actually that you might not be putting in your deck. I mean, there's a few of them which I'm going to make exceptions, but there's some three are definitely ones which you don't want to put in a deck. But anyway, without further ado, let's head in with today's video. And at number 5, we have Fischl Cathedral. I think I said it right this time, actually, that's my third time making that. Essentially just trying to say that, but anyway. It costs 2 elemental dice, and that's 2 elements of the same type. I want to throw that out there too. And what it does is actually heals your character, active one, for 2 HP now. On the first look, doesn't seem too bad. However, you do most things essentially it heals your active character. And your active character is the one who's getting hit, so at the end of the turn, if you just decide to play that card and you have your active character set that you're the one who wants to heal, there's some of the challenges that may be taken down before they manage to get those heals off. However, you can always like play smart and play this card at the end of your turn, as everyone got set up, and then when everyone has like no elements to isolation, nothing happen. However, that is possible, but they're just cards that just this card what it does like way better. Because the rank you in which just heals your most injured character for 2 HP. You don't have to essentially set everything to another card to heal your character for 2 HP. You can just play that card and this is for you for most injured characters. Plus, you can also just play food cards with like the good food engine, which not only whenever you heal your character, but you get an extra card back once per turn. Now, overall, many people might be saying maybe this card doesn't deserve to be called the worst spot. However, the fact is that you just every single heal card does what this card does, but better. Like food card healing your character whenever you want, or action just heals your most injured character without them putting the risk. However, if you're looking at the card the best and you want to play the best, then you're probably going to want to be skipping this card. Not because it's playable as I said, however there are just better options that will just do what this card's trying to do, but much better. Now at number 4 we have Sendoff Akata for 2 elemental dice of the same type, by the way, destroys 1 summon on your opponent's side of the field, and at the first glance yet again this card doesn't seem to be bad. However, this card completely relies on you having some kind of information in your opponent's deck that they're using summons. And even if you do actually go up against a full summon deck, this card doesn't completely stop them from doing their plays, because that only destroys 1 summon, where in the most of the case, at least from there, how I think summons would be actually built, because I haven't seen them in action. This completely on the summon decks, just my assumption. They would actually have a card, for example, like a Paimon would, which is generate your advantage, where destroying 1 summon would not be big of a deal. If you do want to deal with them, you should probably be using Guardian's Oath, where that just blows every single summon on the field. It does destroy your summon, however, you can just go bypass just by not essentially adding any summons to your strategy, and I think you just ultimately just shut down your opponent for 4 mana. I was about to say 4 mana, but for 4 elemental dice. Because the maximum of the summons you can have is 4, and if you just blow them all up, that's just 1 summon per 1 dice, and that just completely shuts them down. And in this case, could be estimated that this card is not actually that bad, or should not be classified as the worst. However, essentially, that, as I said, summons aren't generic enough, and it cannot really stop a fully summoned deck. It only destroys 1 summon, which in the most cases you can just replace that summon. That's why I feel like it should deserve in the top worst spots in this TCG. But maybe in the future we get some more either characters that can make summons easier, or maybe cards that can put more summons. Then maybe this card will actually see more usage, or could be better. Or maybe you could see more essentially more cards that destroy summons. Because as far as I'm recording this, by the time I'm recording this, Sendoff and Guardian's Oath are the only cards that can target summons to destroy them. So maybe in the future we get some more cards that can do it. And at number 3 we have Tossup, a card that is completely free. You can use it whenever you want, no matter essentially how much dice you have. And what it does is rerolls 1 dice up to 2 times. And now from the cards onwards from here, essentially going to have a similar gamble effect or luck effect, where essentially you're not guaranteed to get the effect that you want. With previous cards like Sendoff and Fischl Cathedral, if you feed the requirement, you can get the effect of 100%. This one, you don't get the effect that you want, although with this one, Tossup, as far as I know, is the only such dice or gamble card, essentially you have like multiple chances of actually pulling off the effect. However, it's just not guaranteed. That's not even mentioned, they're just like way better option than this. As for any elemental resonance of that element, which costs by the way 0, and they give you an additional dice of the set element that you want to use. The only downside is essentially you have to use the 2 characters in your lineup that essentially do share the element, which not every deck can fulfill. However, if you're not using this, like also best travel companion that just any 2 dices can switch you out for 2 not elements, but omni dices, which you can use on any element you want. So that makes essentially there's no reason for you to use Tossup any other than maybe for fun. And then number 2, we have Knights of Favonius Library, where it costs 1 die, and essentially the effect is you can choose 1 dice every single turn to reroll it. And what I said about the last placement, you can see essentially that this is just all over again, but you can just use it for multiple turns. And it's bad because once again, you don't get essentially the effect that you want, or this is not guaranteed. Although essentially it has chances to pull off, if the game goes on for a very long time, it does have a chance to pull off the effect that you might want. But at the same time, you better be off using the other cards at that point. And now, coming at number 1 is Abyssal Summons. This got 2 elemental dice of the same color, which again I need to say. And what it does is summons 1 random monster summon, which lasts for 2 turns. Now, if that was what all this card does, it wouldn't be a number 1, maybe a number 2, or maybe number 3. Because it just gives you a summon for 2 cost, which is actually not too bad, but it's still that's kind of random. And be sure you get like from the Pyro, Hydro, Electro, and Cryo. Which I guess you can kind of like build a strategy around that essentially. However, this card does have additional text that is not its law, and essentially states you must have 2 other monster characters in order to use it. Now, that's the least that you need to have in order to use this card, and that's just a high requirement. Not also maybe essentially that's kind of limited in what decks you can use, but also because essentially the monster characters are somewhat difficult to get. I mean, I would say that the hardest card to get, but you must complete turn challenges, which for some people that might be just like way too much. And this card just doesn't do enough to fit those essentially like harsh requirements in order to use it. For this card, essentially, you would expect maybe like 2 to 3 summons. I mean, maybe not that because I would kind of break the game, but you would expect this card to do more than just summon a random summon, which may or may not help you in the game. And that's why essentially I think just a number 1. It's too much essentially effort that you need to actually to get this card, plus to get it to actually work in the deck, but that just doesn't do enough. Now, this is going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoy essentially like the better quality, which I'm actually trying to record these videos. Also, I want to give a huge channel to the TheDuelLog. This is kind of the person who kind of inspired me to essentially make this kind of type of video. And if you guys want like more videos, just looking down essentially and looking at the cards which are good, which are not good, essentially, I would recommend his channel. He does the same thing for Yu-Gi-Oh! And apparently he does it for the like Magic and Pokemon, so if you're interested in that, then also check him out. He has some like links for those channels. Also, are there new card I essentially thought I should be on the list? Or maybe you want me to do like, vice versa, or essentially top like best cards in the Genius Invocation TCG, which that might be kind of a bit harsh because there's so many like good cards, kind of like difficult for me to say whether which card will be like the best. But I guess I could try that if you really guys want me. But anyway, that's going to be it for today's video, and I hope to see you guys in the next Genshin video.